Today we are reviewing a selection of gloves. The first set of gloves I have is the Abruzzi, these are, wait for it, professional, Abruzzi Sim 1s, so by Abruzzi. They're a purpose sim racing glove. I've picked these ones. They have a nice cut off, so they're not going to be too long and too hot during summer in Australia. They have Velcro straps so I can tighten them or loosen them. I choose to go for tight because I want to make sure I'm getting good grip. They have ventilation in the palm of the hand, grip for the fingers and just across the bridge there and at the heel. They have more ventilation in between the fingers. They also have touch panels for your thumb and index on both hands, so if you need to pick up a phone and sext someone while driving, you can do that. So that's pair one. That's the first pair that I will try. The next pair is a pair of Feel It SR2 sim racing gloves. Again, it's another dedicated sim glove. Again, I've gone for a cutoff and a Velcro strap. So you can see much more grip, much more texturing. They have a much softer panel between the fingers. No ventilation there. There's a bit more cutaway there, but no deliberate ventilation holes you can see. They also have a touch panel on the thumb and the index finger. So we have a pair of those. Finally, last but not least, we have the PIP Gtech Maxi Flex work/gardening glove, which has been recommended to me to give that a go. So you can see there's a lot of dimple and texture going on there. These do not have touch features. They don't have a Velcro strap, but they are very elasticized and tight at the wrist, so that's cool. They are a little bit too tight around my fingers and a little bit too stiff, but we'll see how they go for driving. So the other thing with this video is that this is using an old Logitech G25 setup. I think the gears are kind of misaligned. I don't get great feedback and feel from this wheel. I'm not expecting to really be able to tell a lot of difference between these three sets of gloves. I'll also compare them to naked hands, naked hands, and an old pair of Thrustmaster, I think they're TS300s or something, or T300s, pedals. So that's the setup today. We'll do this video. We'll then take a week or two before we do the next comparison video, in which we will set up a rig, a Track Racer TR80. So boxes for that are scattered over on this side of the room. And then we'll attach to that a nice Fanatec direct drive, club sport, V3 pedals, etc. setup, which is kind of, there's a box over there, some more boxes back here, and set up some nice screen mounting as well. And once we've got that set up, we will rerun the same test, but we will do it using that setup and see if we notice any differences. Depending on how this goes, we may also cut in another effort and try and do some using pole grip solutions or rock climbing grip solutions and see how that goes. You're not going to see all the driving that happens today. That's really just for me to build up a feel so I can give some review, but we might cut in some highlights if there's anything devastatingly awesome, which the way I drive at WRC7 there won't be. But in any case, let's go for driving. We're just doing the driving test. Driving test is best test. Yes, we really want to restart the rally. There's absolutely no slip of the wheel through my hands. Bang, bonk, definite assistance. Shit. I can feel it wants to try and fight, but I mean, look, it's never really been sufficient to fight me anyway, this wheel. Right. So I can feel that it's, you know, every now and then trying to do a bit of pulling and whatever. I haven't got it turned up to maximum force feedback, because if I do that on this wheel, all that happens is it just makes dramatic clunky noises and I don't really get any force feedback. Right. I don't feel like this is improving my driving. I don't think it's making my driving worse. Excellent. Keeping in mind that this was not a prolonged session, and it was just a bit of a try. When I'm driving, I haven't noticed the cutting in. Like, I don't feel it digging in that short a period of time. It's a little bit uncomfortable, just a little bit of crampiness, I think, in my thumb. That's fine. I don't think that's the gloves. And they feel a little bit warm, so it's a little bit cooler immediately taking them off. So next up, how about we go for the feelers? See how they go. What am I expecting? Let's expose perceived bias. I expect that these might be a little more cushioned on the palms. They might be... I'm not sure if these are going to be cooler or not, generally. They feel cooler because they're not as thick. Oh, crap. Okay, hot tip. The glove material and the Velcro really are good friends with this. They want to love each other very much, which is not the greatest thing ever for preserving their life. So they feel a bit cooler. That seam, if you can get it to focus, right in the tip of the finger, that might be an issue in the longer term. These feel a little bit baggy-ish, so we'll give it a go. Anyway, here we go. Driving so far has been a bit better, he says as he goes off. Partly that's experience. Again, you can feel the wheel tugging. It's not beyond what the glove can handle. Big problems with this so far is not so much about gloves as much as application of right foot and steering. In my left finger, I am noticing that's a bit stiffer, like just in the tip of my index finger where the touch panel is. Again, this is like not an area where I would normally have had issues with grip. It's useful because I can kind of not grip the wheel as hard, so I can be a bit more comfortable. That's kind of cool, very cool. But I'm also not noticing discomfort, and I'm also not feeling anything from the seams. So that's kind of cool. So that was the feelers. Maxi Flex next. Oof, you can feel the tightness. They really are a much tighter grip, and that's going to be, I think, uncomfortable in a longer run. Just circulation getting cut off. That's uncomfortable. The grip is phenomenal. That's astounding, really. Get off the wall. There's no padding though, like none. So the reason I chose this game is there's a lot of the wheel moving, and for this wheel you can easily, I've got inside the wheel of the car, you can easily just hold the wheel. So the wheel might want to move and I can just go, nah, you're not moving. It doesn't have enough strength. But it's just lock. You really can just hold it through all of those bumps. So really, this is probably the best way to test this out, is terrible driving around a WRC track. They leave a lot to be desired in terms of padding. They're a little bit too small. Grip was fantastic. Alright, so we'll now compare to the nakey hand. Good job. So again, I can just hold this, and that's not a problem. Oh, we didn't like that, did we? Here we go, look at this. Get to some of the big tank slappery sections again, and going over the rough bits. The reason I chose this particular stage as well is it's got these great rumble bits, like bumpy bits along the edge of the road, where you can really just hurdle it in and get some smashing going on. Not because I'm trying to wreck the car deliberately so much as it'll pull on the wheel a lot. And you can feel it. Like, yes, it's a low powered wheel and doesn't have great fidelity and all of that, but you can feel that something's there. So, again, I wasn't expecting to get much out of it with this wheel. That's kind of confirmed it. For those interested, this is a well-worn and loved bottle of Beal Puregrip. It's for notionally pole dancing or rock climbing. Has lived in a car for the best part of 12 months, so hence the deformed bottle shape, but it's still pretty useful, still works. It smells a lot like floor polish, floor varnish. I'm not going to try this with a Fanatec setup because I feel what it will do to the wheel. So again, it's probably not really needed for this wheel since I'm fine with naked hands. The grip that this stuff offers, and there's different kinds of grip. There's Beal, there's dry hands, there's Kryptonite. Beal is really good for grip until you sweat or get it wet, and then it's useless. Dry hands and Kryptonite I think is better than dry hands, are more powdery, so they take longer to wear off and degrade, but they don't stink, and the initial grip level is not as high. So it's really just more about, for those, they give you a bit more grip, but they just make things feel drier. So with that done, let's go give it a go rallying, because that's what we're here for. Yes, that's the line. It's a professional rallying line, as is that. Wheel was turned and everything, just not turned. Excellent. Great, thank you, fantastic. I'm not going to say this is down to the grip. I'm going to say this is my driving, but it also feels like just wheel inputs are doing nothing. You can feel that it's sticking. Like, there's no loss of traction whatsoever with my hands. See that? That's a good test, actually. Let's try and get some big hits. So you can see it's really, like, even in those hits, it's not trying to do a lot, right? So that's why I'm saying for a G25, none of this is necessary. Like, unless you're having problems with sweaty hands, or you've got like an Alcantara wheel or something, I wouldn't bother. It's also not helping PS my driving. Yeah, there you go. There's some nice rough stuff. That the OP WRC beasts. But you're still talking about like 100 km/h collisions with scenery, and the wheel's not really doing much. So that was an interesting test. Here's my perspective. This thing, the Logitech G25, don't worry about it. Just, unless you have very sweaty hands, just drive with naked hands. You'll be fine. Like, this, unless you've got actual good force feedback that you can get cranked right up, you can't make it turn far enough that you shouldn't be able to grip it. Right? See that? So this is the slipping wheel test, and this is with pure grip on. Now we'll try it with a Maxi Flex. Crank it all the way. The little squeal. Oh, cute. It wants to go. I can't let it just slide with that. So that's a concern. Probably good for like formula racing. I don't know so much for rally and drifting and GT type cars. An Abruzzi. Now the Abruzzi, actually, this is interesting. It's got that palm grip, right? So if I don't use it across the knuckles there, if I put it in the middle of the palm, it slides. It's got a bit more resistance than just a hand with a bit of Beal grip on it. So that's possibly an improvement. Now we'll go for the feel. I think the feel is going to be near the Maxi Flex in terms of grip. That's going nowhere. I basically have to let go and start moving my hand away before it starts slipping. If I do that with just my fingers. You can just let it slip through your fingers. I don't know how much you're going to want to do that if you've got a direct drive wheel. Just slipping through there, that's probably not going to be pleasant. But if it is a direct drive wheel and you've done things like turn it up to 20 Newton meters or whatever, some kind of nonsense like that, I think if you're not wearing a glove, you are going to be very uncomfortable. I think even with a grip solution, you will get friction burns, you will get some serious uncomfortableness. Even if you've got really calloused hands, I would start wondering whether your calluses will hold up for long. So that's kind of where I'm at. How would I rank these? Okay, look. If you're just after grip, 100% if you're doing formula racing or you're doing something where you don't intend to just let the wheel slip through your fingers very often, you want to be in 100% control, go for your Maxi Flex. No question. These are incredibly cheap. These were something like, here we go, pair of 3 of these is something like $34 Australian plus $8 delivery for 3 pairs. So for $40, 3 pairs Australian. Pretty good. The Feelits. Okay, so these guys, these were incredibly comfortable apart from, where am I? So on my left hand, apart from the index finger, only on my left hand. On the right hand it was fine. I don't know if that's just a stiffness thing on that one, it'll probably break in over time. Otherwise incredibly comfortable, a lot of grip. As you saw, you could still let it slip just through there. That's going to take practice to get it slipping. These guys are delivered from the UK per pair, $37 for one. Oh, sorry, £37. So that's more like $60 for 1 pair Australian. I like them a lot. The Abruzzis. These guys paid for in Australian dollars were about the same, so about the $60 mark again. And I thought they were pretty good. I think all-rounder formula for comfort, and if you want touchscreens, go for Field Glove. All-round formula, comfort's a little bit, something you can sacrifice. You're not going to have long sessions, you're not going to be doing it for hours on end, or you just want insane grip, go for your Maxi Flex. If you're doing drifting or rallying and you want to have that wheel be able to slip through, but you want to have good grip when you want grip, I would go for the Abruzzi's. I wouldn't be using them for formula racing. I might use them for GTs, I'm not sure. Grip solution. Would not recommend it at all if you've got a direct drive wheel. Also would not recommend it if you've got a wheel that you like. So if you've got an expensive rim, so if you've got a suede rim, probably look even on this leather or faux leather, whatever it is on the G25. I don't know how long it'll hold up over time. It's going to get, that stuff will get into it. It'll eventually degrade something or stain something. Would not try it. Would suggest we do something different. But for just a G25, same as like maybe the better Thrustmasters now, you probably might start looking at a glove. But just a G25, I'd say the same for a G27, G29, 92, 72, 920, 720, all of that caper as far as the numbering goes. You know what you're talking about. Just go for bare hands. Honestly, like, the gloves, you don't notice it. You can grip this thing perfectly well. Unless you're going for a Maxi Flex or a Feel It, and you're having a really long session and your hands, you want to give your hands a bit of a break so they're not just kind of death grip. I don't think you even need a death grip really most of the time for this. I think you'll be fine. That's my roundup. That's my review. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.